Now, when our group coaching offer or program isn't selling, we tend to automatically think that we have a traffic problem. We just need to send more people towards the offer and people will naturally buy more, right? That's how it works. More volume, more sales. But 90% of the time, this is not the case. Yes, traffic is massively important, but this is like trying to put more water into a leaky bucket without fixing the leak in the first place. And when I speak to clients, normally they have an offer problem. The offer isn't right. And when you fix the offer, you may need different traffic anyways. So we generally always want to start with the offer. And the problem that I see time and time again is that we are generally too vague. Vagueness is the problem, especially for people in the more mindful or lifestyle niches or health niches where we speak in general terms and feelings. We speak to general feelings rather than the actual pain and problem that we should be solving and that people want to actually pay you money for. So when we look at vague problems, it's normally the audience that we're speaking to is too vague. So we're not speaking to a particular group. We've generally gone more broad. We're trying to target everybody rather than going more narrow. And we have no particular outcome. It's a very general feeling outcome, but no tangible outcome that people can grab hold of. And we're generally selling the method that we use rather than the result that they want. So rather than the result or the outcome that we should be targeting, the problem that we actually fix, we're generally speaking about the tools and the things that we've learned as the thing that we sell. And you can potentially do that. So in the lifestyle people I see, often it's meditation or it's breath work or it's any of these tools that they've got that you're then going to use to get people a desired result. Now, you can just have your business based around meditation, and that's fine. But know that that is very broad and general. You're really going to struggle to compete because you're just in that very general audience. So you want to see this as a tool that you're going to use to help to get people those results. But the sort of general terms that I see people using, especially in these particular niches as coaches and educators, is that we tend to use general words like more confidence, better health, less stress, more clarity, transform your life. These all sound fantastic. Who doesn't want more confidence? Who doesn't want better health? Who doesn't want more clarity? Well, that's the issue. We all want that. Everyone. Literally everybody wants these things, but they're just nice. But it doesn't really give me a tangible outcome that I will actually pay you to fix. So that's what we need to move away from. It's not that we can't focus on these things as important benefits, but these tends to be symptoms and benefits rather than the actual transformation that you're going to get me. And the reason I see this often happening, so the reason why I think we tend to do this as coaches or experts, is that we've helped a lot of people in many different ways. So it's not just that we're sort of a jack of all trades, but maybe you've done many different things. Maybe you've learned many different skills and you use those in different ways to help different people. And perhaps there are similarities between the people that you help, but you can't really seem to identify the one thing or the common pattern that links all those people together. So we tend to keep things more general, and we think that we'll just get people and we'll all help them individually. But that makes it very difficult to sell your offers, especially as a solopreneur where you're doing everything yourself, you're doing the content and so on. It's easier to specialize in the beginning when you're trying to grow, and you also gain more authority and it makes it easier to sell. But again, we're also speaking more to the tools that we use rather than the problem that we solve. And it focuses more on the feelings, not the pain and the outcome. So the feelings is less stress. You'll feel less anxious. You'll feel better. So we talk more about the feelings rather than the actual thing. What are you going to fix? What is the thing that I want? So the feelings are the symptoms. So we have to really think about this because ultimately people are not going to pay us money for something that's just a nice change. Or some people will, but a limited number, not a scalable number. So it's not going to be, I know that I'm going to convert at 5% on my offers. Because once you know that, once you have an offer that's locked in and you're sending traffic in and you know you're converting at, say, so such as our community model, it generally converts at about 5 to 10%, especially when you're using trusted traffic like YouTube and you're sending it into a community system where you can nurture it. And again, I'll put more free training. I'll link to our free community in the video description where you can understand more about the community model that we use and recommend for growing your coaching business. So again, I'll link to that in the video description. But once you understand what it is that people will actually potentially pay for, it starts to convert. It becomes easier to convert and make those sales. So then you can push more traffic into the system. So how can we fix this vagueness? How can we overcome it? Well, the first thing we want to do is look at the type of words that we're seeing overlapping. So what are we seeing? Clarity. We're seeing confidence a lot, perhaps. And you're seeing no stress. There's tools that you're using, perhaps is meditation. Maybe you've got breath work. Maybe you've got fitness. Maybe you've got whatever it is that you're using as the tool that you help to get people results. So it could be such as I'm using fitness to help people with their confidence. So therefore you're tying in the confidence part seems to be important, and therefore it gives them more energy and it helps them in many, many different ways. But we don't want to necessarily speak to every pain. We don't want to necessarily speak to every benefit inside. We can later on, but we want to focus on one core thing. So less confusion, more energy. I use meditation, you get less stress. Well, let's say, for example, the pattern that I see over and over is that it's confidence. What I'm helping people with in different areas of their life is confidence. Okay, well, now we know that's a thing. That's an important thing that maybe people are going to pay for. And it often then links back to you, because as a coach or educator, you may have made some sales and you may already be working with people, but they generally buy into you for a reason. There's something in you that they see and they want. So they look at you and go, oh, I really like how confident she is. I really like how confident he is, how he speaks in his videos, how he does these things. So there may be things and qualities that you have that people are wanting to work with you on. And it's not so much about the tools and the way that you get it as they want to get it with you and they want to work with you. So normally there's something that you do that will become the thing that we can zoom out. So you want to be looking at yourself and the patterns of the things that you fix. So we don't want to speak less to the tools, such as I don't want to do it on a meditation level, but I want to help you with confidence. So it's confidence and meditation, let's say, is the pattern I'm seeing. Okay, what is the problem that they will pay to fix? So for example, if I looked at this, I could say, okay, well, normally it's one of the big three: health, wealth, and relationships. So therefore, people are going to pay me money in those areas. So the problem I could fix if it was confidence and maybe I was doing things for stress, then perhaps it could be confidence for speaking to women, going up and actually speaking to women and asking them out on dates. It could be getting on camera. That could be a great one. Getting on camera and having camera confidence to be able to speak and grow your business. And that could be an angle. Well, if it's for people that want to grow their business, then perhaps that is a way that I could actually help them with that. So it could be meditation, talking skills, things that are going to get them the confidence to do it, that you link to other things that you know and you can do. And that starts to zoom out. So you start to say, okay, confidence is the thing. What other skills do I have? And then the tools that I use are going to be meditation. It's going to be exercise. There's going to be other things that I use to help them with that particular breakthrough. But I need to look at the problem that I'm going to fix for them and make sure that it's a problem that they're willing to pay for. So the way that you get the result makes you unique. So the tools that you use, the way that you're going to help them with that. So maybe you like to focus on more of a conscious audience and you are going to use things like breath work, meditation, ice baths, health and fitness. So it's going to be a holistic state of things there. And it's going to be more about you're selling what they want, which could be rebuilding yourself after a divorce. So maybe you're helping men rebuild themselves after a divorce and get back into the dating market and have the confidence to be able to ask women out. But the confidence doesn't just happen overnight. They don't just start speaking or going to speaking classes and get more confident. They probably have to physically improve their body, reduce stress, and then feel better in their health and fitness. If they look better, they're going to feel better. So you know the things that they need to do to feel more confident. So those are the tools that you're going to use. So then we want to look at it and say, okay, I help. And let's say it's normally going to be what you are. So a man or a woman, typically. It doesn't have to be, but you would tend to attract more of who you are. So I work with both men and women, because the identity of the people I help is more coaches. So that's already niche enough. But for your niche, you may want to go male or female, depending on what you're doing. So for this example, let's say men. I'm going to go, it's men over 40, and I'm going to help them with confidence. So it's for dating after divorce. So they're going to help them get back into dating after divorce. So that would be also to do as well. So confidence is the thing I'm going to help them with. To do will be the thing that they pay for. Dating is important, getting back into that and feeling more confident after dating. There's probably going to be a lot of men that are going to pay for that particular service. Just as there may be women who would be willing to pay to get back into dating and having the confidence after a divorce. Or it's, again, something to do with their business. But the pay part, we want to be targeting people that have the money. They will actually pay. The result or transformation, this part, is where they will actually get out their wallets and give you money. So we want to be targeting people that are entrepreneurs or business minded, because then they're going to see that it's more of a business investment and they might be willing to invest more into it. Or it's an opportunity for dating. People are generally going to pay more for that. So I think things around health and dating is a good one. And then also I would say things around money is going to be particularly good, because people see it as an investment and something that they actually desire. So we're quite primal as humans anyways. The things that drive us are the things that we're actually going to, directly pay for. Or if it was, say, more the health stuff, is anything that causes us actual pain. If we're actually in pain, then we will pay you to fix it. So that's what you need to focus on. Stop being so vague. Stop just focusing on the feelings or the tools that you use, and try to think of the transformation and the actual thing that they will pay you for to fix. You might have to zoom out and again, look at your tools is just the methodology that you use, but not the actual thing that you're selling. So again, if you would like more help with this, I'll link to our free community in the video description. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.